Hello, you guys. Welcome to day number 2 of your Binge Year Masterclass. Oh my God, I am super excited for day number 2. How are we all doing? How are we all feeling? As a little mini recap, Iris is here. Hey, Iris. Stephanie's here watching. Kara's here. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Kara, definitely correct me. I don't like saying names wrong. Marcy is here. Hello, Marcy. So if you're popping on, say hello. As a little recap, the first training was pretty next level. I know you guys really enjoyed the first training, all about the mindset, getting you in the right mindset, showing up for yourself, releasing the timelines, redefining your definition of consistency, and taking action. Focusing on excitement over pressure, consistency over perfection, and getting curious with yourself and asking yourself, am I doing the best that I can? And like I mentioned yesterday, you really do need a mixture of both. You need a mixture of the mindset, and you need also the strategy. Because I can tell you what to do to stop your binge eating. Like I can literally tell you exactly, boom, 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 exactly what to do to stop your binge eating. But if you don't actually have the right mindset, it's going to be really hard for you to see results. Because the way that you think about yourself, the way that you view consistency, all matters. Your mindset plays a huge role in healing your relationship with food. So you have to get your mind right. But also, we can't just have the most positive mindset if you don't actually know the right actions to take. Okay. So who's here with me? Christina, Nikki, Kimmy, Michelle is in the membership. Jennifer's an Academy client. Iris is here. Karen's in the membership. Marcy is here. Kimmy, oh, so good. Rosie is here. All right, amazing. So right now, you might be saying, hey, Nadia, you might be saying, Lorna, I'm trying so hard to not give in to my binge urges. And I'm trying so hard. I'm relying on so much willpower and so much motivation. I'm trying. There's a better way to go about that. You don't have to just try to not give in to your binge urges. You might say, Lorna, I don't even have chocolate in the house. And I'm still binging. But you don't have to keep chocolate out of the house. But Lorna, I tell myself that I know exactly all the foods to eat. Like I know so much about health. I know so much about nutrition. I know what to eat, but I'm still self-sabotaging. Because what you need to do to stop binge eating is not the same as what you've needed to do when you've dieted. And it's not about following a plan. It's not about knowing all the right foods to eat. But Lorna, I'm not restricting anymore, but I'm still binging. Yes, because binging is still a habit that you've ingrained into your brain through repeatedly acting on your binge urges. So today I'm really going to dive into the strategy piece, because you might be taking action, but maybe you're not seeing the results that you're looking for. Or maybe you're not taking action at all. Or maybe you are taking action and things are going okay, but you haven't been able to stop binge eating yet. And I want to talk about all three. Okay. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Miles. Leela's in the membership. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Carmen. Heather. Liz is in the membership. Brianna, Charlotte, Agnes. Oh, so good. So today we're going to do a little bit of an audit. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of audit so that you can get really clear on what you need to focus on to stop binge eating. There's 3 different categories I'm going to walk you guys through, and you're going to plug yourself into a category so that you all have awareness of where you are and then what specific game plan you need in order to have your binge-free year. Is that cool? Is that cool? Okay. So the first category is inaction. Inaction. Are you in this place right now where you're ready to heal your relationship with food? You want nothing more than to feel calm, balanced, relaxed with food and get rid of your urges, eat without impulse, but you're not taking action. This is not about judging yourself. This is not about shaming yourself. Like I spoke about yesterday, this is a safe place, but I'm also gonna give it to you because I'm here to help you get to a place of complete freedom and balance with food. So I want you to get honest with yourself. Are you somebody who's in this place right now of inaction? You're not taking action to heal your relationship with food. If you can resonate, drop a me in the chat. No shame, awareness. Because things cannot change if you don't have awareness. You might be in a place right now where you're not taking action. There's inaction, and it's okay. I'm going to explain why, because there's a few different reasons. And like I said, there's no shame. If you want to heal your relationship with food, you have to have awareness over what it is that you're doing. So why there could be inaction? Number one is fear. Drop in the chat, fear. Hi, Amy, one of my Academy clients. Drop in the chat, fear. What if I try to heal my relationship with food and it doesn't work? What if I commit to a better relationship with food, but I can't stick to it? What if I put in so much work and then I fail yet again? This is so real. And I get it. But this is where I'm going to remind you time and time again that dieting and healing your relationship with food and ending binge eating, you cannot even compare the two. You cannot compare diets that you've been on and your journey to losing weight and your journey to becoming the smallest version of yourself to a journey where you're healing your relationship with food and you're working on conquering binge eating. They are not even the same whatsoever. They're completely different, 180-degree, night and day difference. And believe me, because I've done both. So you might have this fear of, what if I try and it doesn't work? What if I try something else and it doesn't work? And sometimes this is where it could be frustrating because it's like, I'm so motivated. I know what to eat. Why am I still binging? Right? It's like, I know all the foods of what to eat. I've literally been on so many different diets my whole life. Like, I know a lot about food. So why don't I have control? Anyone in this place where you're like, you know what to eat? Like, you've done so many different diets. You're like, I know what I'm supposed to eat, but it's like you find yourself binging. I was a personal trainer and I was a health coach and I knew what to eat. I knew exactly how to work out. But the steps that I needed to take in order to get rid of my urges, the steps that I needed to take to release food guilt was way different than the steps that I needed to take when I was dieting. It was not the same at all. Diets don't teach you how to eat without guilt. They make you fear food and feel guilty for what you're eating. Diets don't teach you how to have a better relationship with food. Diets make you have a poor relationship with food. Diets don't teach you how to get rid of your binge urges. Diets create urges. And there's literally nothing else I need to say other than that to show you the distinct difference between dieting and healing your relationship with food. So if you have this fear right now of, I'm going to try something else and it's not going to work, I just squash that because you haven't done this yet. You haven't healed your relationship with food before, or maybe you have, but if you're comparing how many different diets you've tried and you're like, I could not stick to any of them, so I'm not even gonna bother try healing my relationship with food because I'm probably not going to stick to that either. That's not even, it's not the same. Okay. Now, another reason why you might be in this place of inaction is you don't know what to do. Drop what to do below. Maybe you don't know what to do. And that's why there's inaction. It's like, Lorna, if I knew what to do, I would do it, but I don't know, right? Maybe you don't know what specifically to do to stop when you're full. You're like, I don't know how to stop when I'm full. Maybe you don't know the tools of how to get rid of your urges. Maybe you don't know how to eat chocolate without feeling guilty, because every single time you have a piece of chocolate, you feel really bad. Maybe you don't know how to bake without binging. Well, this is why you hire me. But of course, you haven't stopped binge eating yet if you don't know what to do. If you don't know how to stop your binge eating. Yeah, don't know how to break a bad habit. If you were just trying to follow macros and expect yourself to stop binge eating, do you see how, of course, you're still going to have urges? Because tracking macros doesn't help you become less impulsive with food. It makes you more impulsive with food. Do you see how doing intermittent fasting is not going to stop nighttime eating? It actually causes nighttime eating because the rules and the deprivation. But sometimes you might not want to believe that it's the diet. You might want to believe that diets still work and that you are the problem, that you are lacking motivation, because it's much easier to tell yourself to try harder than it is to stop dieting and actually look inwards and recognize that there's an unhealthy relationship with food, and it goes beyond not being able to stick to your diet. It's like, oh, wait, I need to heal my relationship with food. And I was actually talking to one of my clients yesterday, and we were talking in one of my programs. I was talking how diets don't work. And by the way, drop that in the chat, because that's actually really important. Diets don't work. Like, we all need to be clear on the same page on this. And this one client, she said a part of her wanted to believe that diets do work, because she wanted to believe that, until I continued talking on the training why diets don't work, and how if they work so successfully, none of you guys would be here. And she had a huge breakthrough, and she was like, that's right. I wouldn't be here if I was, if I had a healthy relationship with food. I wouldn't be here healing my relationship with food if diets work. I wouldn't be thinking about food. I wouldn't have so much guilt. I wouldn't have these strong urges to binge. And sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow, because you've done diets your whole life, and it's like, wait, diets don't work. But it's easier to just keep believing that diets do work, because it's easy turning to something quick. You can turn to diets quick. But when you recognize that dieting is what led you here, dieting is what caused you to have an unhealthy relationship with food and spend years fearing food and restricting yourself and having these rules, that's what led you to have these urges. It's very eye-opening to recognize, oh, it's time to heal. So again, if you're in this place of inaction, which is the first category, inaction, it's not to beat yourself up. Hey, Jennifer. It's actually to get you so freaking excited. Like, holy guacamole, imagine if I actually took action towards healing my relationship with food, and I actually learned how to become less impulsive with food. I would have less guilt with food. I would actually get out of the all or nothing mentality. I would be in a way better place. A binge-free life seems so much closer, because I'm actually taking the proper action, the proper steps to heal my relationship with food. I'm not doing something and taking action on something that's actually creating urges. This is huge, you guys. Right? It's like if you're trying to take action on something that's actually creating urges, it's like, what the heck is wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with you. It's just you're utilizing the wrong tools. You cannot fail unless you stop trying. You cannot fail unless you just don't take action. You can't fail at healing your relationship with food unless you just don't do anything. But that's not you, obviously. You're here. You're ready for freedom. You're ready to conquer. Drop I'm an action taker if that's you. I'm an action taker if that's you. You cannot fail if you take action. You can't. The real failure, I don't like using the word failure, but the real failure, in my opinion, is not trying something you know can change your life. The real failure, in my opinion, is not trying something you know can change your life in fear of, but what if it doesn't? That's the greatest failure. And I said, I don't like using the word failure, but maybe more so regret. Failure is trying something and it not work and you give up. That's the real failure, not giving it your best shot. That's failure. Failure to me, again, I'm just sharing what I believe, is not trying. Because, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, it's not going to work if you don't try. But what if you just needed to be consistent a little bit longer? What if you needed to try just one more time? Karen says it was an amazing eye-opening thing for me, and it actually took a huge weight off my chest that I didn't even realize I was carrying. Yeah. Such a beautiful realization. Yeah. I'm so glad to have you in the membership. So I've had clients come to me after years of trying many different things, diets, therapy, all these different things. And I was on a call with a client today. I think she's maybe on. And she's like, I can't even believe it's been 2 months and I'm feeling so good with food. Like, I'm not binging. I'm not having urges. It feels so good. And she's like, it feels so weird because I've tried for years. But this is what I can help you with. I get it. I've had lived experience with binge eating. I can collapse the time for you. I can help you stop binge eating. I know it works. But imagine if I said, well, Lorna, you know what? You've dieted for 10 years of your life and you couldn't stick to anything. So you better not try this whole heal your relationship with food thing because you're probably going to fail at that as well too. I did not let that come into my mind because I knew deep down that I was meant for this. I was meant for freedom. I was meant to live an incredible life. Do you think I was not going to go all in? Of course not. I didn't go into healing my relationship with food like, well, I'm just going to try. I'm like, no, I'm going to do this because this is who I am. I'm going to find a way to make it work. Yeah, maybe therapy didn't work for me because I didn't relate to the whole childhood trauma thing. Maybe going to my doctor wasn't the best approach because he just brushed me off and he actually had no idea what binge eating was. He just told me I was depressed and I was stressed. And maybe going to my nutritionist wasn't the best option because they just put me on a meal plan and it made me feel even more out of control with food. But I did not give up. And I don't see that as failure. I found a way that didn't work for me. Powerful. Thank you. It's not failure if you tried a bunch of things and it didn't work. You found multiple ways that didn't work for you. Okay, keep going until you find a way that does. This has always been me. It's funny because I'm like, today's going to be a strategy call and now I'm all about mindset. We're going to get into strategy. Don't worry. But this is important. I didn't see something not working as a sign to quit. Are you kidding me? That's not me. Thank you, diets, for showing me what I don't want. Thank you, diets, for showing me that I need to heal my relationship with food. Imagine if I never went for it and I never tried. I wouldn't be almost 4 years binge-free and helping all of you guys. So if any sneaky thought comes into your mind, you can remind yourself it is okay to have fear. It's okay if you're scared because maybe you've never healed your relationship with food before. So of course it feels scary. Maybe you have fear because it's a big deal for you to heal your relationship with food because you care. You care about yourself. You care about your health. You care about your family. And it might be emotional for you to think about the fact that you're going to heal 10, 20, 30 plus years of binge eating in an unhealthy relationship with food. Like, sometimes that can feel emotional. And there can also be fear because you've never done it before. Maybe you've only done diets, which made you believe that you can't stick to anything, but you can when it's different and you're healing your relationship with food. I couldn't stick to any diet that I've been on, but I never let that stop me from taking action. Because I realized they were two different things. Dieting and healing my relationship with food were two separate things. So just because you have fear doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. No, you can feel the fear and still take action. There were many times in my journey I was scared to do certain things. I was scared to delete my fitness pal because how the heck and Bob am I supposed to eat intuitively? Like, what does eating intuitively even mean? I don't know when I'm hungry. You want me to stop when I'm full? Like, that's a joke. If I allowed myself to just eat whatever I want, I would be 1,000,001 pounds. My binges would be all over the place. Like, no. But I felt the fear and I did it anyways. Because first of all, I understood that all those thoughts that I had about intuitive eating were incorrect. You don't gain 1,000,000 pounds if you learn how to eat intuitively properly and not just eat whatever you want, because that's not intuitive eating. It's a whole other conversation. But I felt the fear and I took action anyways. And this is important. It's okay to have fear, but it's not okay to let the fear stop you. So again, you might be in this place of inaction due to fear, but also due to not knowing what to do. Okay, so inaction is the first category, and you might not be taking action due to fear or I don't know what to do. Now, another reason why people are in action is because they have this misconception. I'm going to eat more sugar and I'm going to throw my health out the window, and I don't want to do that. Drop misconception below. Okay, that's too long. Drop BS below. People have this misconception. Drop BS below because it's not true. People have this misconception. I'm going to spiral out of control. I'm going to gain so much weight. It's not true. People have this misconception. Catherine's right on it. She's like, that is complete BS. I love it. People have this misconception of I can't still take good care of my health as I'm healing my relationship with food. That's not true. I became so much healthier when I stopped dieting. I ate better when I stopped dieting because I wasn't binging. I didn't have these urges. I was taking care of myself. I was respecting my body. I was stopping when I was full. I could eat a cookie and move on because I didn't have the Last Supper mentality. I didn't need 5 or 6 cookies because tomorrow when I was tracking again, I knew I couldn't eat them, so might as well eat 5 cookies. Let me be proof that you can actually take really good care of yourself. In fact, you're going to take way better care of yourself when you're healing your relationship with food than you are dieting. When you're dieting, you don't take care of yourself. You're hangry, you're impulsive, you're tired, you're pushing yourself, you're restricting yourself. That's not health. So understanding the fear, understanding why the fear is here instead of just letting the fear stop you from taking action. Like, wait, why do I have the fear? Oh, because it feels like I'm going to fail. But I just shared you cannot fail at healing your relationship with food unless you just don't try. Maybe you have the fear because I don't want to spiral out of control. But I'm here to tell you when you have a step-by-step process, you won't spiral out of control. Now, another reason you might not be taking action is this fear of what other people are going to think. Drop fear of others below. Fear of others. Maybe you've always been the friend that always dieted. Every time you talk to your friends, they know you. You're the one that's always dieting. You're the motivational friend in the group, and you're the one that started this 8-week fitness challenge, and now people know you as the fitness queen, and people know you as the healthy one. I can't heal my relationship with food and stop dieting because what the heck are people going to think about me? When you're on your journey to healing your relationship with food, you're going to have to get really good at not caring about what other people think. Because the reality is you are healing your relationship with food for you. You are healing your relationship with food for you. You are conquering binge eating for you. Because deep down, you know in your heart that you're done with diets. You know it makes you more obsessed with food. You know it causes you to binge more. And you can feel it in your heart that it's your time to heal. And you're aware that you're binging. You're aware that you need to do things differently. So you're not going to let potential comments of what other people say stop you from doing what you know deep down you're supposed to do. When I was a personal trainer and I was a health coach, I had this story. Of I'm scared because people know me as a health coach and I don't want them to see that I'm eating a cookie. Like I can't eat a cookie in front of them. People never saw me eating desserts. Heck, people barely saw me eat. My family, sometimes I would go to social events and sometimes I would not even eat. Sometimes I would have a salad. Sometimes I wouldn't even eat. But the story and this fear blocked me from making faster progress. The moment that I decided to heal my relationship with food for me, the moment that I decided I can't be worried about what other people think, was the moment I started making faster progress. I wasn't in inaction due to fear. If you think about what other people think about you, and you're not doing what you know you need to be doing, you're not taking action. And again, this isn't you deep down at your core. Like, you're ready to heal. You're doing this for you. You know healing is your next step. You know it's your time. So let people stay in diet culture. Let people believe whatever they want to believe. You know the truth. There are so many people in diet culture. They don't know what a healthy relationship with food looks like. And people are always going to make comments. Whether you're dieting, they're going to make a comment. Whether you're not dieting, whether you get seconds or you don't get seconds, whether you don't eat the cookie or you eat the cookie. Like, if people are always going to make comments, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you focus on you and your truth and what's best for you. And something else that really helped me, because I had this story that people are going to see me as like unmotivated because I'm eating different foods. I actually said to myself, I had this honest conversation with myself and I said, the reality is I actually don't want people to see me as this person who's obsessed with working out. I don't want my family or my friends to think of Lorna and the only thing that they think of is gym. I don't want my friends to think about Lorna and all they think about is macros and gym and workout and fit and all this stuff. I don't want my friends or my family members to, as soon as they say my name or my name comes up in conversation, it's like, oh yeah, she just eats salad all day. I wanted to be known as somebody who made people feel good. I wanted to change the world. I want to make people feel special. I want people to see me as a source of inspiration because I have balance in my life. Not, I'm so good at tracking my macros. I want people to see me as a source of inspiration because I'm healthy and I'm truly happy. I want my friends and my family to look at me and say, Lorna is so healthy because she's balanced. I love her lifestyle. She works out, but she also relaxes. She also does yoga and she's really kind to herself. And she also pushes herself in her workouts and she really enjoys eating healthy because it makes her feel really good. But she can go out for dinner with her husband, her Mr. Bean, without guilt. And she's successful in her career and she has an amazing relationship and she has hobbies outside of just working out. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be known as somebody who has balance in their life. So even when I thought about having this fear of like what other people are going to think about me, I'm like, well, I don't even want to be this person that other people just think it's like the first thing that comes to mind is salads and gym and macros. Like, what? I want people to see me as like balance. Balance. Who here wants balance in your life? Drop balance below if you're like, I want to be somebody who has balance. I don't want to be known as the person that only cares about her body and the number on the scale and how many grams of freaking carbs she's consuming. Life is more than that. You didn't come here on this planet to be a slave to MyFitnessPal. You didn't come here to feel like you want to rip your hair out every time you went over your carbs, or you didn't get enough protein, or you missed a workout. So this is a really good time to contemplate, like, what is the fear of what other people think about you, but also is what you're doing right now the way you want people to view you. If you're on a diet right now, is that how you want your friends to see you? If you constantly say no going out for ice cream, is that how you want your friends to see you? Is that how you want your daughter to see you? Is that how you want your family to see you? Or do you want your daughters to see, oh, wow, you eat the same meals as her? You want your daughter to see that you love the skin that you're in, and you can bake cookies with her, and you can be present with your family because you have your mental real estate back. On a Sunday, you can spend time with your family, go out for a beautiful walk, go to a coffee shop, do your thing because you're not in the kitchen spending 5 hours meal prepping to make sure that you eat super clean and eat spot on this week. Something to think about. So that was the first category, by the way. That was the first category, by the way, inaction. You might not be taking action because of fear, but I crushed that one because you can't fail at healing your relationship with food. You might not take action because you don't know what to do. Well, that can change really quick when you get support from me. And number 3 is the fear of what other people are going to think, because the reality is you can't be worrying about what other people think. You need to do what's best for you. The second category, first category was inaction. The second category is you're taking action, but you're not getting results. So you feel like you're taking action, but you're still binging. You feel like you're taking action, but you're still out of control and thinking about food all day long. Who can resonate with this? Drop me in the chat box. If you feel like you're taking action, but maybe you're still binging. There's a few different reasons why this could be happening, why you're actually taking action and you're not seeing results. Okay. So the first reason is inconsistency. The first reason is inconsistency. Going back to the consistency piece that I spoke about yesterday, maybe you're taking action, but you haven't done it long enough. So there's inconsistency. So for example, I ate intuitively for 1 week and it did not work. Lorna, it did not work. It doesn't work for me. It's the worst thing in the world. I was binging and I was spiraling out of control. It's been 1 week. There's not consistency there. Lorna, I had a super strong urge and I didn't give into it, but I'm still binging. So it actually doesn't work if I don't give into my binge urges. Okay, but it's been one urge. Lorna, but I went out for dinner. I was so excited because I allowed myself to order what I wanted on the menu, but then I ate so much and I was so full. So I probably shouldn't have went out for dinner, but it's been one time. When I talk about rewiring your brain, you have to understand how these binge urges came about. You don't all of a sudden get urges randomly. Like they don't just pop like popcorn randomly. There's a reason why you're experiencing urges, why you're binging. There's a reason. And when you first think, when you think about the very first time that you binged to all the way up to today, how many years have you been binging? Think about that. Maybe you can drop in the chat. You've been binging maybe for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 plus years. That's a lot of time that you've been giving into those urges and intensifying those urges over time. That's how many years you've ingrained this habit into your brain. So not giving into one urge is incredible. And I'm so freaking proud of you because I know that's challenging. But you're not going to stop binge eating by not giving in once. You're probably not going to stop it by giving in twice or 3 times. If the way that you started binge eating was through repetition, right, of giving into your urges, the way out of binge eating is repetition of the proper tools. And taking action is key, but not just once, not just twice, over time, consistently over time. So the first reason is just inconsistency. So it's you do it once, you do it twice, you do it for a week, you do it for a month. Okay, but we're talking about a binge-free year here. We're talking about binge-free years. You can't just do something for 1 month. You can't just do something for 3 days if we want long-term results, right? Now, that's the first reason, inconsistency. So you're taking action, but you're not seeing results. Well, that can be due to inconsistency. But the second reason is you're not taking the right action. So I'd love for you right now to drop in the chat. When you feel this urge, to binge, what do you do? Like when you feel this rush of anxiety, this surge of energy, and you're like getting so excited because you're like, oh my gosh, that piece of cake that looks delicious, or you want to binge all the leftovers in your fridge, or you have something in your cupboard and you're home alone and your husband leaves for like 2 minutes and you see your husband leave, then you freaking run in the kitchen and you're like, go time, baby. What do you do? Like, what do you do when you feel the urge? Can you let me know? When you feel the urge to binge, what do you do? Like, what do you do to try to not give in? Yes, Karen, I'm visualizing it as a path in my brain that I've followed for years, and I'm attempting to beat down a new path. Yes. Yeah. I often talk about like a snow path. You know, it's like if you go down one path that you've gone so many times, it's clear, it's easy to go from point A to point B, aka continue binging, because you've gone down that route before. And then over here, you haven't gone down this route before, and it's like snowy, and you have to like try to make your way through. It's like you have to create those new neural pathways in your brain. I asked myself why I want to eat. Am I physically hungry? Awesome. What else? You guys, there's so many of you guys on. What do you do? What do you do when you feel the urge to binge? Do you distract yourself? Do you journal? Do you tell yourself to not do it? Distract myself? I try to distract myself, but I get overwhelmed. Sometimes my distractions I have in place just don't seem as appealing, so I give into the food. Okay, Catherine, great point here. Let's talk about distraction, because distract. So many people are trying to distract themselves when they feel the urge to binge. And I remember doing this because I knew I shouldn't give into the urge to binge, but I didn't know what else to do. So I'm like, yeah, distraction doesn't work for me. I'm going to talk about this. So I knew that I shouldn't give into my binge urges, but I didn't know what else to do. I'm like, just distract yourself. Like, if I can do something else and get my brain to not think about the urge to binge, then I'll be successful and I won't give into the binge. But when it comes to distracting yourself, when you feel the urge to binge, distracting yourself works like this. You feel the urge to binge and you so badly want to give in. Like there's nothing else you can think about. You guys know that feeling. It's like there's nothing else you want to do. You want to binge. And you've kind of already made up your mind that you're going to binge, right? You're like, yep, that's me. I literally would plan my binges. Like I already knew I was going to do it, especially when I got home from work. I'm like, I know I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. So maybe you tell yourself to distract yourself, to go for a walk, but you don't feel like going for a walk. Well, maybe you should go to a yoga class. Well, you don't feel like going to a yoga class. Well, maybe you should clean your house. You're not going to feel like cleaning your house, especially when you're home alone and your kids are in bed and you finally got 30 minutes to yourself. There's no way. You're not going to want to do anything when it's 9 o'clock at night and you're exhausted. And the fastest way to get dopamine is to binge. So the entire time that you were trying to do something different to get your mind off of this urge, to get your mind off of food, you're still thinking about food and you're still thinking about binging, and the urge intensifies. The urge becomes stronger and harder to resist. There will be times, maybe you've experienced this, where you felt the urge to binge and you distract yourself. If you were super busy with work and you didn't get a chance to eat and you got lucky and you didn't binge, you're like, score. But there's going to be times where you're on a phone call with your friend and 2 hours go by, or you go to the mall or you go do something else and you get busy, but you end up binging anyways. Work was so busy and you're like, heck yeah, I didn't get a chance to go in my car and, on my lunch break, eat in my car or whatever, but the urge never went away. You didn't get rid of the urge to binge. So as soon as you drove home, you still ended up binging. So I want to give you an example. Let's say you didn't give in. Let's say you got lucky. Okay, so you didn't binge in your car on your lunch break and you came home from work and you kept distracting yourself. So you didn't binge. You distracted yourself and you didn't binge. You can keep doing that. You can keep distracting yourself every time you feel the urge to binge. But I think what you want more than that is to not have the urge to binge. Wouldn't life be so much better without these urges, without having to try to not give in? You can continue to have these intense urges and never really know when it's going to happen because it comes so fast, right? You can not know if it's going to happen tonight. You're not sure if it's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know if, maybe if I'm home alone, it's going to happen. With distracting yourself, you're always going to be on high alert. And you're always going to have to try to figure out what to do instead. And that's exhausting, right? It's exhausting. So you can keep distracting yourself or you can get rid of your urges. How many of you guys are exhausted trying to not give in to your urges and fight them? You're like, I don't want the urge to binge anymore. I don't want to feel the urge to binge anymore. I'm done. When you distract yourself, you're putting a Band-Aid on. Distracting yourself doesn't prevent future binges from arising. So damn exhausted. So Tuesday night, you end up distracting yourself, or you went to bed early, or you brushed your teeth, or you called a friend, or I don't know, you took a bath, you got lucky. Tuesday night, you got lucky and you did not binge. But if you didn't binge because of distracting yourself, that doesn't make the rest of your urges magically go away and disappear into the wind. Every time I distracted myself when I felt the urge to binge, I'd be proud of myself for not giving in, but I would have to keep doing that every single time I felt the urge to binge. I had to keep doing that the next time. And the next time I felt the urge to binge, I had to find something else to do. Exactly. Miles says I would always have 3-ish ideas of what to do to distract myself, but then never actually end up using them. Yeah, because it's like you don't want to clean the house. You don't want to call the friend. You don't want to take a hot bath. You just want to chill and eat, right? So I would continue distracting myself or going to bed early and brushing my teeth or drinking water in hopes that I wouldn't give in, and it was exhausting. But also, when you're distracting yourself, this does nothing for your brain. You don't feel any different. Distraction doesn't rewire your brain. Distraction doesn't help you become less impulsive with food. Distraction doesn't reprogram your brain. You're not changing the neural pathways in your brain by going for a walk instead of eating. You're not regulating your nervous system. You're just trying to survive and trying not to think about food. You're trying to think of other things so that you don't binge. It doesn't get rid of your binge urges. So do you see how this is just one example, but you might be taking action and you're like, Lorna, I'm trying to not give in. But if you don't have the right tools, you might be taking action and still be binging because you haven't gotten rid of your urges. You're just managing them. Managing them is very different than getting rid of them. Managing them through distraction is a quick fix. And again, who here is done with quick fixes? Drop a heck freaking yes below if you're done with quick fixes. Makes so much sense. Catherine, I'm so glad. So that's one way of managing your urges, of distracting yourself. Now, another way of managing your urges is you might be keeping trigger foods out of the house. And again, same thing. You decide this week, you're not going to put chocolate on your grocery list because you got to do good and you don't want to binge this week. So you're not going to even bother putting chocolate on your grocery list. So you drive to the grocery store, you're in your car, and you only buy healthy foods or whatever normal foods you typically buy. And guess what? Maybe you get lucky and you didn't binge because you don't have chocolate in the house. Congratulations. But that doesn't prevent you from never binging on chocolate ever again. Have you ever told yourself not to buy chocolate and then you didn't buy chocolate and then you forever stopped binging on chocolate? Has it ever happened? Probably not. It doesn't, like, you don't buy chocolate today. Okay, great. You can't binge on chocolate. You don't have it in the house. But it doesn't prevent you from never, ever binging on chocolate again. And for me, it was like, okay, I'm not buying cashews because cashews was a big trigger food for me. I'd eat the whole freaking bag. So nope, not buying them. I must stay away from this dangerous food. I'm not going to buy these coconut clusters because I always binge on those too. And chocolate chips, well, if it's in the house, I'm going to eat it. So definitely not going to buy those. Oh, and dried mangoes, those are, have you seen the sugar on those? Yeah, I'm definitely not going to buy those. And I'm also going to tell my mom that she better not buy them, even though she really enjoys them. And she has a healthy relationship with food and she can have one or two and move on with her day and enjoy it. But I can't. So she better not buy them because I can't control myself. So how dare she enjoy the food so peacefully? But I'm going to see them and I'm going to eat them and then I'm going to binge on them and then I'm going to regret it and then I'm going to blame her. So she better not buy the food. But the entire time, the entire week of not having the food, maybe in the house, what do? I know I used to fantasize about the foods that I never allowed myself to have. I'd be thinking about them so much more. And I'm like, I literally can't even wait until I go back to the grocery store. And in fact, I'm probably just going to go today because I'm feeling this urge. So I'm probably just going to drive myself to the grocery store, even though it's a random Tuesday afternoon. And I normally don't go to the grocery store on a Tuesday afternoon, but it's going to happen. And I'm going to go and binge on it because I'm already deprived. And I'm going to go to the grocery store. Another quick fix solution. Not even solution. It's not a solution. It's a quick fix tactic. You don't have chocolate in the house, you might not binge on chocolate, but it doesn't prevent you from binging on chocolate next week or when you're at a social event and you're around all the trigger foods, you're on vacation. Or you're at a all-you-can-eat buffet. And it's like, ooh, I can have this, I can have this, and I can have this, and there's no limit, and I don't have to pay for it. Well, technically I did pay for it, but basically it's free because whatever, I'm on vacation, it's all inclusive, so I can have as much as I want. So it's a buffet, so I'm going to eat as much as I want. I'm not going to deprive myself. Are you kidding me? On a trip that's all inclusive, not this trip, maybe next trip, but this trip is all inclusive. So this one is all you can eat and it's all inclusive. So I'm going to eat all the delicious food. Okay, but what happened to I'm going to keep sugar foods out of the house. Keeping sugar foods out of the house doesn't actually fix the problem of why you can't control yourself around that food. It is a Band-Aid. And you're just trying to manage your urges versus understand why you have these urges in the first place and then work to get rid of them. Another quick fix is relying on motivation or willpower. How many of you guys try this? I'm going to try to not do it. I promise I'm not going to do it tonight. I promise. I really promise. Like for realsies, I'm not going to do it. I used to do this as well because I considered myself a motivated person. I know you're motivated as well too. Like you want nothing more to stop your binge eating. But the problem is you can't motivate yourself to not give into an urge. Like these urges are created due to deprivation and due to restriction and continuously giving into these urges. So when you're telling yourself don't do it, it doesn't change anything in your body. It doesn't change anything in your brain. It's like you're fighting against these. It's like an itchy mosquito bite. And you're like, don't scratch it. Don't you dare start scratching the itchy mosquito bite. If you've ever had an itchy mosquito bite and you told yourself not to scratch it, for like 2 minutes, you're good. You're like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to not even think about it. And I'm not going to scratch it. And then it's all you can think about. And you already know how good it's going to feel to scratch the itchy mosquito bite because you've done it so many times. And you're like, screw it. It's just too itchy. So I'm just going to scratch it for like just 1 second. Just 1 second. And you start scratching it. And then what ends up happening is you can't stop scratching it. The same thing goes with the urge and the binge. You can have good intentions. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to binge tonight. When I get home, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'm going to put on my pajamas. I'm going to get in bed by 8 p.m. so that hopefully no cravings pop in. And if I just go to bed early, well, then I won't snack. When is motivation high? Right after a binge, you're motivated. On a Monday morning, you're motivated. Right after a binge, you're motivated. But the problem with motivation is, first of all, it's like a freaking roller coaster, but also it's not, you can't think your way out. I tried for years. Like you can't just tell yourself, don't do it. Just like, don't scratch the mosquito bite. And I've managed my urges in the past. So some days I did not give in because I literally mustered up every ounce of courage in my freaking body from the tip of my head until the twinkles of my toes. I mustered up the courage to not do it, but it was exhausted. I was exhausted. And I would be thinking about binging the whole time. And I would literally be planning my day. So I was so busy so that I hopefully wouldn't binge. And then that led to another problem because I was literally go, go, go all day. And then I would get home from work and I'd be so tired and then I would binge anyways. So there is a better way. Drop that below. There is a better way. Drop that below. There is a better way. You might be taking action, and I'm so proud of you for trying because I see you. I see you trying really hard. You're trying not to do it. You're trying to talk yourself out of binging. So it seems like you're taking action and you are, but you can't motivate yourself to not binge. It's this out-of-body experience. You want to binge. Telling yourself to not do it is not going to work. So instead of distracting yourself, instead of staying busy, instead of going to bed earlier, brushing your teeth, you need a state change in your body. When you're feeling impulsive and you get that uncomfortable sensation in your body, you need a state change. You can't look at yourself in the mirror. I did this. I would literally look at myself in the mirror. This is going to be your last time. I literally, I would look at myself in the mirror and I would say, you're never going to do this again. I hated it. It made me feel frustrated. I was bloated. I'm like, why the heck am I still doing this? Because I hated it, but I also kind of liked it, but I absolutely hated it. And I was ready. And I was like, this is going to be the last time. So instead of those quick fix solutions, I'm going to share 3 tools that you can use when you feel the urge to binge. How many of you guys are interested to know what they are? I've got about 10 to 12 incredible tools that will regulate your nervous system and help you become less impulsive. But I'm only going to share 3 today for time's sake. But also I go deeper into this in my Stop the Urge program, which I'm going to share with you guys, by the way, at the end, because I know some of you guys are like, I need more information. I want to get rid of my urges. So at the end of this training, I'll talk more about my program, Stop the Urge. But for now, I'm going to share 3 tools that can help you create a state change in your body. This is going to help you physically feel different. And when you physically feel different, you're going to think differently. If you don't change how your body is feeling, the urge doesn't go away. So I want to be clear. These are 3 things that are not necessarily going to get rid of your urges, but these are things that you can do when you feel the urge to binge. Okay? Because if you know what to do, that will help you to not give in to your urges. right? It's going to help weaken those neural pathways in your brain. You don't give into an urge to binge today, the next surge is going to be less intense. Imagine if you didn't give into your urge to binge for a day or a month or a few weeks. You're going to become less impulsive, and the urges are going to become less and less and less and less and less intense. Okay, number one. Number one, drop this in the chat, movement. Drop in the chat, movement. Now, let me explain. I am not saying go to the gym. I'm not talking about that movement. What I'm talking about when it comes to movement is a state change. Something that's going to change how your body is physically feeling. So things like shaking. Things like shaking is a very incredible tool. If you have emotions in your body, maybe you got to shake out your body. It's a great way to shake out negativity, stuck emotions, release energy in the body. If you just even shake out your arms, shake out your legs, and you literally have fun with it, and you literally just shake. Come on, do it with me. I know it looks so silly if you're at work. I apologize, but just shake. Like literally, doesn't matter how silly you look. I want you to just shake. Shake, 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 shake. Maybe you got to put on a song and it's like shake, 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 shake it off. I don't know. You got to have fun with it. Even if you just do that for a few seconds, like my body feels alive. My hands are like vibrating. In a world with the animal, in the animal world, animals shake as a result of a stress response. They literally shake out their body to help release the energy, release the tension. We're the same. Urge is a stress response in the body. You got to shake it off. Maybe you got to shake it off. You got to kick, punch, jump around, stomp your feet. This is obviously free for you to explore. Shaking is something that my clients really love, and it really, really works. It gets your heart rate up. If you've ever done a workout, right? If you've ever done a workout, you feel the endorphins, like you physically feel better, right? So even just like jogging on the spot, doing a few jumping jacks, movement, shaking, it's all going to be very, very effective in helping you physically feel different and less impulsive. Number two, drop this in the chat, breath work. Drop breath work down below. So when you engage in different breathing patterns, this can also stimulate the feelings of exercise, where oxygen flows to your brain and it changes how your body physically feels. There's a few different breath patterns. Again, I talk about this more, so I'm just going to share a few here. A quick exhale and inhale through the nose with a force and intention. It sounds like this. So just in and out through the mouth. You can do this in a quick fashion, so fast. Really energize the body, or you can do it in a slower manner. Stick to 3 minutes or less, unless you're with myself, like a breathwork facilitator. But this is really going to help you change your body's physical state. Again, I just did that for literally 5 breaths, and I'm like a little lightheaded a little bit. It changes your body's physical state. You feel different. You think different. And there's different breath patterns depending if you are feeling the urge to binge. There's different breath patterns that I use with some of my clients if they feel this emotional, they want to just emotionally eat, like kind of mentally check out. If you feel like you want to mentally check out, you're probably in a low energy state where you got to increase your energy. So you want to do a faster breathing pattern. If you're in a more hyper aroused state where you're impulsive, like you feel the urge to binge and you feel your body starting to get anxious, you got to down regulate your nervous system and go slower with the breath. Number 3, cold shower. Drop below, cold shower. Obviously, sometimes it's not accessible, but cold exposure is very beneficial. So when you get your body into cold water, again, it changes your body's physical state. It's gonna suck, it hurts, but you feel like a badass after. Today, I still take cold showers, not because I have the urge to binge, but it creates a state change. And I have so much energy afterwards. So you can hop in a cold shower, right? You can go cold, and if you chicken out, you can go hot, and then you can turn it back on cold, but you want to leave it on cold before coming out. Because the cold is what creates that state change in your body. It's incredible. If you're at home and you're in your pajamas and you're all cozy and you're like, there's no way I'm hopping in a freaking cold shower, splash cold water on your face. It's the same thing. Splash cold water on your face. Again, it creates a state change. Who's going to try these out? Who's going to try these out? Drop a me below. Again, these are just 3 of them. I've got way more tools in my toolbox, but I just wanted to share 3. Can't be here forever. But repetition is where it's at. It's not doing this once. It's not doing it twice. It's being committed to do it over and over and over again. How is this different than distracting yourself? The state change. You feel different. Your nervous system is going to regulate. You're just not trying to not do it. Brain-based techniques and nervous system regulation techniques over distracting yourself. Those were the first 2 categories, by the way. There's one more category. The first category, as a recap, was inaction. The second category is you're taking action, but it's not the right type of action. The third category is things are going well, but you're not binge free yet. Let me know if you can relate to this specific category. Maybe things are going well for you. You're binging less, but you're still binging, but it's binging less. Maybe you're having less urges, even though you're having urges, you're having less urges. Maybe you're not tracking your calories and macros and you're eating intuitively, which is a big step, but maybe you're still overeating or thinking about food. When things are going well, what tends to happen, it kind of freaks people out a little bit. Because when you have this narrative in your mind that I am inconsistent, ending binge eating is hard, whatever the case may be, and then all of a sudden things are going really well and you haven't binged in a week, or you haven't overeaten in 3 days, what happens is this is unfamiliar to your brain. Your brain is like, wait, this isn't normal for me. What's going on? This is weird. This doesn't happen to me. I'm not somebody who can just leave food on my plate. This never happened to me, but it's happened to me for 3 days in a row. I am not somebody who can have a binge-free week like that. Like what? Your mind convinces you this is unsafe. It's unfamiliar. Abort mission. SOS. This is not normal. And then sometimes what's very common is you feel this need to binge, even though you don't want to, maybe you don't even have the urge, but it's like things are going well now, but this is scary. This isn't who I am. This is where self-sabotage kicks in. You haven't done this before. It feels unsafe. It feels unfamiliar. Brain's trying to protect you. Your brain goes into protection mode and it's like, this is unsafe. We need to go back to what's familiar. We need to go back to what's comfortable. And although continuing to binge is not comfortable, to the brain, it feels safe because you've been doing it for so long. And this is so common to happen. I know this definitely happened to me on my journey. I was like, wait, this feels so weird. I'm home alone and I don't have the desire to binge. That's not me. I am somebody who always binges when I'm home alone. I don't care if it's 8 o'clock in the morning. If it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I just had lunch, if I have the opportunity to be home alone, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to binge. That's what I used to tell myself. And it felt so strange to not binge. And I see this with so many clients. I never forget this one client. She was having less binges. She was allowing herself to enjoy the food that she wanted. And, in the past, if she had a trigger food in the house, it'd be gone in one day. And she's like, it feels like I'm not trying, because it doesn't feel as hard to not binge anymore. Like, I don't know how I'm getting such good results. Like, I'm feeling less impulsive. She was literally on a trip to Mexico. She was away for a week. She hasn't been on the calls and she wasn't really doing much. She's on vacation. She was eating what she wanted, but it was such a big win for her where she's like, I'm not even, like, I don't even feel the need to binge. And she's on vacation. She's like, how is this possible? And I told her it's 100% normal, because when you're used to yo-yo dieting and you're spending your whole life struggling when you're dieting, you're going to have this belief that you got to struggle to get results. Don't get me wrong, it's not a walk in the park to stop binge eating. But when you have the proper tools and you're becoming less impulsive with food, it's going to be a lot easier. And this client has put in the work. She's plugged into our coaching calls. She's plugged into the support. She's watched the trainings before going on vacation. So she knew the information and it's been getting ingrained into her brain. She didn't just learn the information, she was taking action. She was giving herself permission. She was utilizing the tools. So she's been putting in the work, but it's a different type of work than dieting, where you're feeling deprived. This work, quote unquote, is showing up to the calls, implementing the tools, releasing your food rules. This work is different than being on a diet. It's still work, but you can enjoy the process. And results can actually be faster if you're willing to take action. So if you feel like you've always been a committed, driven person, and you're like, why am I still binging? Like, I'm successful in so many other areas of my life. I have a good career. I have a good family. Things are going well in my life, but I can't seem to figure out this whole binge eating thing. The good news is if you can utilize your determination to use the right tools, because you still need commitment, you still need determination, but it's the right action. It's not just motivating yourself to not binge and go clean your kitchen. Like, let's be honest, that's not going to work. When you're having days where things are going well and your brain starts freaking out, this is where you also need self-belief. I'm going to have a whole conversation on this tomorrow, so I'm not going to dive too much into this. But do you actually believe that you can conquer binge eating? Can you let me know honestly in the chat box? Do you really believe you can get here? Do you really believe you can have a healthy relationship with food? Do you really believe you can conquer binge eating? Do you really believe that you can conquer binge eating? Do you really believe that you can have a healthy relationship with food? Because when you fully believe that you are going to conquer binge eating, even on days or weeks where things are going well with food, when you believe that you're going to conquer binge eating, it's like, oh yeah, of course that happened. I'm on my way to stopping binge eating. Oh, of course I didn't binge all week. I'm on my way. Of course I didn't overeat for 3 days in a row. I'm on my way. You're not surprised because you're putting in the work and you're utilizing the right tools and you're taking the right action. Absolutely. Cara says yes. Christiana says yes. Michelle says I do. Christina says yeah. I love it. Donna, I believe I can conquer binge eating. Cindy says yes. Karen says I didn't at first, but since starting your program, I do now. Heck, Kayla says yes. Brianna says absolutely. Yes, Brittany, I can conquer binge eating and have a healthy relationship with food and be an intuitive eater. Boom. Heather, I wish I did. Trying. Let's change that mindset, girlfriend. Let's change that mindset. You absolutely can. Catherine, I have trouble sticking to goals in many areas of life. So yes, but I'm still afraid to let myself down. But now I feel better equipped. Support and accountability. Plug yourself into support and accountability. I'll be talking about a program that you guys can join at the end of this. That's a game changer. Anyone in my membership, any of my programs, you guys know this. Okay. Yes, Leela, you can absolutely do this. My logical brain knows I can. I did so many harder things already. I feel like I have this, what will I do when I get there? Fear from the unknown. Yes. And yes. I talk about this with a lot of my clients because you get there and then it's like, well, what am I going to spend my time with? But what am I going to do? Right? It's like binging is such a huge part of your life. But again, that's a whole other conversation. That's what I talk about with some private clients. Okay. So you need to start expecting things to happen. Okay. And by the way, that's a great realization that you had. I don't want to dismiss that. Like, that's a great realization. But you have to also, guys, expect things to start happening. Like, expect like this is your new norm. Like, it's my new norm to stop when I'm full. It's my new norm to go a full week without binging. It's my new norm to have chocolate with lunch. It's my new norm. Make it familiar. Make it normal. Expect yourself to experience these results. When you're taking the right action and you have the proper tools and you have the proper support, of course you're going to conquer. If you're winging it and you're relying on motivation and distracting yourself to not give into your urges, do you see how you might have a wobbly belief if you can actually conquer binge eating? What you're doing is unsustainable. So it's like, well, I hope I don't give in by distracting myself, but that doesn't give you confidence and reassurance that you're going to stop binge eating. Because you know it doesn't actually get rid of your urges, it's just a Band-Aid solution. And when you have to keep on distracting yourself and brushing your teeth and going to bed early, you're like, I don't know how long I can do this for. So then your belief in your ability to conquer binge eating, it wobbles. And it's like, I don't know if I can conquer because this is hard, this is exhausting, but it doesn't have to be this way. When you feel the fear, you take action, you combine that with the right action, you start utilizing brain-based techniques, nervous system regulation techniques to help you not give in to your binge urges. You're going to start to believe that you can conquer binge eating because you're actually taking the right action. You're not just winging it. You're not just saying, I hope I don't binge tonight. You have a plan. You know what you're doing. You're utilizing the tools. It's going to give you confidence to keep going. And you know, people always ask me all the time, like, are you afraid that you're going to binge again? No. Not only has it almost been 4 years, but I did things sustainably the first time. I did not get here almost 4 years binge free by distracting myself. I needed the right action. I got the right support, community. I was consistently utilizing tools over and over and over again. I learned how to rewire my brain. I stopped the all or nothing mentality. I got rid of my urges. Like, I did things sustainably the first time. I healed my relationship with food. It's putting in the work, not a quick fix. So how are you guys feeling? How are you guys doing? Can you let me know something in the chat? I hear once you have a binge eating habit, it is something that is going to take work to stay binge free. Well, the reality is I don't have to put in work to try to not binge. I've gotten rid of all my urges. I haven't had a single urge to binge in over 4 years. So when you do things sustainably, you don't have fear. I don't ever get scared if I'm home alone. I don't ever get scared if I'm on vacation because I've done things sustainably. Now, if I was distracting myself or I was trying to stay busy, then I would definitely not feel confident because it's like, am I going to get lucky tonight? I wonder, like, fingers crossed, I hope I don't binge. So that's really the difference. When you get rid of all of your binge urges, you don't have this fear. You can go on vacation, you can be around trigger foods, you can be home alone. You don't have the urge to binge. Michelle says, feeling hopeful. Leela, feeling motivated. Karen, I feel hopeful and happy that I found you. Karen, you're just literally the best. Like, you're literally the best. Very hopeful and motivated. Oh, I love this. Kayla says, I've searched and searched for support similar like this. Very emotional. Have found something I had hope existed, but didn't know it yet. I feel so much more confident in myself listening to your knowledge and strategies. And you guys, this is literally like the tiniest little piece of the puzzle. I feel like I know I can heal. You can, Cindy. You're a badass. Empowered. I have tools I need to apply them consistently. Hopeful, motivated. I feel very seen. I see you guys. So Karen says, could this possibly work? What do you guys think? You guys can answer in the chat. I've been feeling great. I love listening to your podcast. Haven't felt the urge to binge. You're welcome. You're kick me in the butt. Energy gives me extra motivation. I love it. I'm very fiery and very passionate. You guys, this stuff changed my life. Like, I'm not just trying to help you. I had a transformation myself that changed the trajectory of my life, my relationships, my career, my health, my finance. Every area of my life is different now that I'm binge free. So I'm definitely not holding anything back. Okay, we're going to start to wrap things up. I'm going to do the giveaway. I did not forget. I'm also going to talk about briefly my program coming up to help you get rid of your binge urges. But as a recap, yeah, Cindy's in the membership. She's like, without a doubt, we're all in the right place. Yes. So as a recap from today, there's 3 categories. Inaction, so not taking action but not seeing results, and then things are going well, but you're not binge free yet. You probably found yourself in 1 or 2 of the categories. And then I talked about how distracting yourself and relying on motivation doesn't work. You have to get rid of your binge urges. I shared 3 tools for when you feel the urge to binge. That's one tiny piece. One tiny piece. Inside of my program, Stop the Urge, I have 10 full tools that you can use to help not give into your binge urges. But most importantly, what I'm going to help you with is understanding why you have these urges and how to prevent urges from arising in the first place. Because if you know why you're having these urges, and it's not just due to restriction, because some of you guys aren't restricting and you're still binging, you know why you have these urges, you know how to prevent urges from arising in the first place, it's going to be so much easier for you to not give in. In fact, you're not even going to have to use these tools because you've gotten rid of your urges. You don't even feel the urge to binge. Whether you're home alone, whether it's late at night, whether you're super stressed, you're not going to feel the urge to binge. So this is my program, Stop the Urge. I literally called it Stop the Urge because I want to help you get rid of your binge urges. You're going to know the difference between cravings and binge urges. People ask me all the time, how do I know when to give in? How do I know? Is it a craving? Is it an urge? In this program, I'm going to walk you through how to know the difference. You know when to give in and when not to give in. How to honor your cravings without spiraling into a binge. And also the mindset piece of what to do when you don't want to use the tools, because you're going to definitely experience that. So all of that I'm going to be covering in this program. Who here is ready to get rid of your urges? Drop a me below. You're like, I am ready to get rid of my urges. Yes, I want them gone. Finito. I don't want a quick fix. I'm here for the real deal. Like, I actually want to get rid of my urges. This is for you if you're impulsive. You have strong urges to binge. One cookie isn't enough. You have one cookie and it feels like you can't stop eating. This program is going to help you get rid of those urges and eat without impulse. You can have some chocolate or have a cookie without spiraling out of control. Christina says me, Kayla says me, Mila says me, Brittany says me, Catherine says me, Michelle says me. I love it. Michelle says me. Cindy says me. So good. So right now, you can join my program, Stop the Urge, at the lowest price. It's $222 or 2 payments of $125. This price is going to be good for the duration of this masterclass. Then the price goes up. We're starting in January, and the full price will be $497. So if you know you want to join, you're ready to become less impulsive, you want to learn how to sustainably get rid of your urges, this is the program to join. Okay, so it's $222 or 2 payments of $125. I'm going to post the link right now in the Facebook group. If you guys join, come back here and let me know, because I want to celebrate you guys. It's always so fun when you guys like start joining. It's so much fun. So I just posted the link. This price is good for the duration of this masterclass. The price will go up. Like I said, the full price will be $497, and we're starting in January with a bang. Okay, so very, very excited. Brianna says, yes, I want them gone. They need to disappear. Yes, Goodbye, urges. Me. Cara says me. Donna says me. Karen says me. I love it. Leela says me. Awesome. The link is there for you guys. Okay, we're going to do the giveaway, and then we're going to wrap up. So one person, many of you guys did the giveaway, so if you've entered the giveaway, thank you. If you haven't entered the giveaway, you can still enter because I will be choosing a winner tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, like the next few days. So this person, one person, is going to win this program. Now you guys are like, wait, I can't purchase it yet. Okay. One person is going to win this program. It's a $497 full price program. One person is winning it. I did a random number generator. So the winner is Kimmy Beck. Congratulations, Kimmy. You've won yourself this program. You get full access to this program. So I will message you and you are in. If you did not win, it's okay. There's going to be more giveaways. But I will say this. I am not going to be drawing another person to win this program. So if you're like, I want to wait to purchase because I might win, I won't be pulling another person to win this program. So if you want to join Stop the Urge, join. Okay, just wanted to make sure that I'm clear with that. Congratulations, Kimmy. Congrats. Yeah, so exciting. Okay, so this is so much fun. Like I said, if you want to enter the giveaway, watch the first training. There's different ways of doing it. Podcast review, rating and reviewing it, sharing it in my Instagram post to your Instagram feed or the banner of this. It says your binge free year. You can share that to your Instagram stories and tag me. Okay. All right, you guys, I can't wait to see all of you guys jump into Stop the Urge. Message me, please, when you join, because I just want to celebrate the crap out of you. I'll be jumping up and down and screaming and just getting so excited for you. Thank you for being here. Again, congrats, Kimmy. Have an amazing rest of your day, you guys. This is day 2. We've got more to come. I love you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.